Join us for onsens, street food, and castles at the Osaka pop-up October 11th to 17th. Facebook group and sign-up link are in the show notes. Have you ever dreamed of experiencing island life while giving your kids a truly immersive, place-based education? Today, we're joined by Joanne Paul, founder of Ileo, a worldschooling hub based on the vibrant Caribbean island of Curaçao. Joanne shares her journey navigating multicultural family life, the magic of raising multilingual kids, and how partnering with local institutions like the Curaçao Children's Museum creates authentic community integration for traveling families. If you're curious about seasonal cohorts, slow travel logistics, and place-based learning in the tropics, you won't want to miss this conversation. Welcome to the Wander World School podcast. I'm Susie, a travel-loving money nerd, mom of two, and our family lives between Spain, Colorado, and soon Japan. On this show, we discuss the stories, logistics, and finances of traveling families and the many ways to learn along the way. Today, we get to know Joanne Paul. Welcome to the show. Please tell me more about you and your family and where you're calling in from today.
My name is Joanne Paul. I am currently in Chicago at this moment, but I am in between Curaçao and Chicago. My company's name is Ileo, and it's a place-based ecosystem for families who want to visit Curaçao.
Which I'm really excited to get into because I've heard many great things about this beautiful island, and you can give us all the information so that people are going to want to come participate in Ileo there. But before we jump into more about your program, let's get to know a little bit more about you and where the curiosity for travel for you originated.
I think I have to go back, way back. I am Haitian American. I was born in the U.S., but I kind of bounced back between Haiti and the U.S. So I never really felt like there was one place I could call home. I was saying to someone the other day that my life is almost like an abstract puzzle. It doesn't look like it fits together, but once you put the pieces together, the big picture makes all the sense.
That is a great visual. I relate to that because I feel like I have interests that fit with certain groups here and there, but then not always with everything. I just pull in a lot of different resources and things I'm interested in. So you're right. Once it all comes together, it all makes sense. I love that. What about your travel and language journey as you were growing up? What did that look like?
Yeah, so I lived in Haiti between the age 7 to 14. And then I moved back to the U.S. And in Haiti, we speak Haitian Creole, which is a mix of French primarily and a little bit of African dialect, and then a little bit of Spanish in there. And then I would say the more modern version of it, you will also hear a little bit of English. And then the second official language in Haiti is French. So I grew up speaking those languages, and then I was in one of the international American school on the island. So the educational part was always in English, but at home we spoke Creole and French. And also for anyone who knows the island of Hispaniola, it is our neighboring country, is the Dominican Republic. So Spanish was also around. I think that base of like being in Haiti and listening and hearing multiple languages on a daily basis has really helped me when I began traveling by myself and now with my two beautiful children who are multicultural as well.
Tell me a little more about your family. You said that with the ages of your kids, and you have other languages also in your family too, right?
Yes, my kids are half Russian. And so right now they are fluent in Russian and English, and we're working on putting the French and Haitian Creole. I started with the Russian just because the father doesn't have any family here or in Curaçao. So we kind of wanted to focus on that language first. But there is a nice group of Eastern European community here in Chicago in the north suburbs. My favorite story is there is one Eastern European mom who saw me at a mutual friend's birthday party, and she asked for my phone number and for us to do a play date with her son. But the catch is she spoke zero English. So we did the play date, and the first month we were just Google translating together. But like now she's one of my best friends, even if there's like a bit of language barrier. If you really want to make it work, you can make it work. It just started with her just saying, "Hey, okay, I don't speak English, but can we still be friends?" And I was like, "Yes." And my daughter will have like a Russian speaking buddy. Like it's a win-win situation. And I speak like basic Russian. But from having her around, she was able to learn from me when it comes to English, and I was able to learn from her. For my kids, I really nourish that side of them because on my side, we're Haitian and I have family visiting all the time. So by default, she's around a lot of these languages that is spoken from my side. But on her Russian side, we kind of had to put a little bit more effort. But it's a learning process and I'm loving it.
That's a beautiful story and shows that you're right. We can overcome some language barriers sometimes, especially for our kids. And also that kids can be a connection with other families. And this is where I love traveling with kids. With kids, other parents are always looking for those connections as well. And it's worth overcoming some of those initial barriers because of the value that it provides for your children. How old are your kids again? And when did the travel?
My daughter, Valentina, she's 5 years old, and my son, Sebastien, he is 3. I think you were going to ask, when did my travels begin? So I think it was when she was a year and a half. We did a trip to the DR for a few weeks in Las Terranas. I really liked it there, and that was the first time in a long time I kind of like really miss home, my Caribbean roots. I was really looking to go back. So when my son was born the following year, I think he was only like 4 months old. So I was looking for a place that now with the intention of like, okay, I need a place that makes me feel welcome as a Haitian woman, and as well as a place that is multilingual, multicultural for my kids to be around, and as well as they are mixed kids and I want them to see themselves in the world. By doing the research, I just stumbled upon Curaçao and I was like, oh my gosh, this place is so beautiful. This seemed too good to be true, so I need to check it out. And then we decided to take the risk of going to Curaçao for 3 months. And I just fell in love with the culture and the welcoming nature of the community down there. The locals are super sweet. Speaking of sweet, when you're down in Curaçao, you will hear douche a lot. It's a word to kind of welcome you, and they will say, douche, do you need this? Douche, do you need that? And so if somebody's down there and they say douche, they really like you.
I like that.
Every year, because we do live in the north suburbs of Chicago, and it's very cold in the winter, and this island girl cannot survive the whole winter. So every year since then, we've been going to Curaçao. That is kind of what led me to Ileo, but we'll talk about that in a few.
Thank you for walking us through that journey. Everyone has something unique that they're looking for in the locations they travel. And I love to hear a story where, you found a place that feels like home. No place is perfect, but at the same time, it's great to have a place that you can go to and get the things that you're looking for that maybe Chicago doesn't provide, like the island life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk a little more about what education or schooling or learning is from your philosophy, and also maybe how that's played a role with Ileo.
Well, I did 3 years working at a high school that I actually graduated from in the north suburbs of Chicago. And I worked there as a TA in special education. And that journey really helped me to meet kids or people where they're at educationally wise. That kind of influenced me to, I think I want to homeschool my kids to meet them where they're at when it comes to their education and learning style as well. My daughter is a very focused girl, and she'll sit there for like an hour and do everything. She just loves it, or she can draw, and she's very studious. Whereas my son, he learns more with like activities because my daughter was born first, and I went through the process of teaching her first, and I can put like cards in front of her and she'll sit there and she will repeat it. Whereas my son, after the third one, he's like, I'm done. So I was trying to figure out like how can I make it work for him? And I realized like just putting the cards on the floor and having him jump on them, like jump on jump on but. And then like within like a week, he learned his whole alphabet. Whereas before, trying to teach him the same way that I taught my daughter kind of like stagnated his growth in some ways. But remembering that process of meeting them where they're at.
Do you see how different each kid can be and being able to offer that more individualized attention? Or like you've shared your place-based learning through travel. Share with me a little more about what that has looked like for your family, especially when you do spend time in Curaçao.
I like place-based learning in a sense of like learning about the culture itself of Curaçao and immersing myself and my family into the culture. Part of that too is getting to know the locals and not being in like an expat bubble per se. So that's one of the things that I've been really, really conscious of doing for my family, and as well as building Ileo and putting that kind of perspective and difference inside of the hub.
And share with me a little more about what Curaçao is like.
It's a tiny island you can get from one side to the other within, like, I think 3 hours. It has a very small population, I think under 200,000, but it is it's very communal, and everyone is very welcoming and very open to teaching you about their culture, and they pride themselves of being multicultural and welcoming people in. I remember when I did the first post about Ileo, I got beautiful messages from the natives there that said, thank you for bringing a spotlight to Curaçao and creating something where other families and other people can come in and experience our culture and stuff. So that is very beautiful. I would say that that's part of the essence of Curaçao is welcoming, very, very welcoming.
I love that there's a community that wants people to come visit. They want to welcome them in. That's certainly helpful as a traveling family to know that I'm going somewhere that is going to be happy that we're there and learning their community and their culture. And that's why I love also slow travel is that we do have more time to integrate a little bit. Tell me a little more about what the other languages are in Curaçao. And then also, if someone is an English-speaking family, can they get around really easily on Curaçao?
I'll start with the English. Yes, definitely, because it's like there's 4 main languages spoken there. There's Apimento, Dutch, Spanish, and then English. So almost everywhere you go, English is being spoken. And it's kind of cool. There's a place called the Floating Market where a lot of Venezuelan vendors come with the fruits and vegetables. It's very cool to interact with them because they can switch from all 4 languages in a heartbeat. Like my children's nanny, sometimes she's like, oh, in my brain, I have to switch today. I have to switch because I started talking to you in Dutch, but I know that you only speak English. But like Papimento, if you do speak Spanish, you will understand a good bit of it. And also you'll be able to read a lot of it because it has like that Latin base. So in Spanish, you would say casa. And then in Papimento, they just say cas. So there's a bit of Spanish in there, so you can hear it, but it's slightly different.
I love to hear how people are able to switch between languages and really use language as a way to connect. And what is the weather like in Curacao?
It's 80 degrees year round, and it's not in the hurricane belt. So you don't get those like heavy rains or hurricanes that the other neighboring islands get. So it's perfect.
That sounds delightful. And share with me a little more about what prompted you to start Ileo and what the World Schooling Hub looks like as well.
I think it's one, the experience of being on an island where I feel welcome within my culture, and also my kids being able to see themselves in so many different ways within the culture as well. So that aspect of like feeling part of the community and being welcome as well, I was like, oh, this could be something for other families. So I've been doing this on my own for the past like 4 years, and I know how lonely that traveling with, as much as I'm integrating with the local population as much as I can, I'm still a bit of an outsider and coming in. So it would be good to have like someone that has like-minded experiences as me. I have met a few families that did the same thing, that was coming to Curaçao and staying there for like 1 to 3 months at a time. And some of them are my very good friends now. I was like, oh, there isn't a hub in Curaçao yet. Why not be the one that starts this? And I didn't have any experience in it. At first, it sounded like a crazy idea, but I did a lot of research in the world schooling hubs, and I started drafting all of my ideas, putting them together, and then being gutsy enough to send out proposals to a lot of the big local partners that are now my partner, kind of like the Children Museum that I partnered with. I was just like, there's no way they're going to accept to partner with me. I don't have anything. It's just an idea. And they were like, no, that's an awesome idea. Let's do this. Let's see how we can work it out. And now the Children Museum, it is officially the learning center of Ileo. And it's been a very great journey so far, partnering with everyone locally. I wanted to make sure that I gave back to this island that has made me feel welcome, and also not just do something on my own, but pull them in and integrate them into Ileo and make them like the core foundation of what Ileo stands for. Yeah, so for the housing, I partner with local management companies. For the educational part, the Children Museum on the island, co-working spaces as well, and all of like the workshop that we will be doing for the families as well, with all the local businesses there. So it's been quite a beautiful journey so far.
I love it. And what a great backdrop for the education center to be at the Children's Museum. I mean, like the learning opportunities, the play opportunities. I love that.
They have so many interactive rooms inside of the Children Museum, and it's just perfect. Yeah, we start the day with free play, and then after that, we have a local facilitator that kind of takes over. But what I do like about the Children Museum, they have areas that are interactive that mirrors the island. So when I talk to you about the floating market, they have a room with like the boat with the fruits and vegetables on there. So the kids could kind of experience that within that room and put it in like shopping carts and then pretend that they're like doing their own shopping. So I think that's a good touch.
That's great too. Yeah, bring in the community and the culture outside into the Children's Museum. Tell me a little more about what a typical day or a typical week could look like for a kiddo participating.
Monday to Thursday, we would typically stay at the Children's Museum, and it starts from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So there would be the area that the families will be staying in is in Punda, the central part of Curaçao. There, everything is walking distance to the floating market, the Queen Amara Bridge, which is known as the floating bridge. It opens up and you can be on the bridge when it opens up to let cargo or boats pass. It's pretty cool. Or if you don't want to stay on it for too long, there is a ferry that can take you from the Punda side to the Autobahna side. Families stay there, and in the morning, there will be a bus that picks up the kids around 7:45 and then take them to the Children's Museum, and they will stay there until 2 p.m. And we start the day, like I said, with free play, allowing the kids to kind of relax and have a moment to themselves. And then we do a circle time to check in with all the kids individually, as well as in a group before we start the day. And then there are monthly themes that go with learning about the island and stuff. And we include STEM, which has literature, engineering. We have like a build it section that is engineering as well. And we go outside. The Children's Museum has a beautiful outdoor nature section that also has like interactive play where you can kind of take water from like a small little well. And we have like projects during the day as well. And then once a week, which is every Friday, we take the kids in different parts of the island to learn about the island or to a museum. My kids' favorite place to go is the ostrich farm. So you learn about a lot of the ostriches on the island, and they're like African ostriches that were brought to the island, and the kids will learn about them and actually feed the ostriches, hold an ostrich egg. And then at the end, if the families are comfortable with that, my kids loved it, but you can have lunch at the restaurant as well, and you can taste an ostrich egg or have an ostrich taco and stuff. So that's a pretty cool experience for the kids to have. So it's a very fun, very interactive, very immersive program. And I'm just very grateful, like I said, to the Children's Museum staff that really has put in the work to help make this possible, and all the local team as well that is helping make all of this possible.
Your home shouldn't be a reason to stay, it's your ticket to go. My ebook, How to Rent Out Your House While Traveling, teaches you how to set up systems to rent out and manage your property remotely. Turn your house into a travel asset that pays for your adventures. Grab the ebook and the free 30-minute consult today at the link in the show notes. Let's get you on the road. It's very place-based to have the museum that brings in the local area and the culture and the activities, but then to utilize the opportunities on the island on those Friday excursions. That's a great way to go out into the community as well. I'm looking at the map while we're chatting, and I'm like, there is a lot to do in this small island. And the setup is really unique around the harbor, right? I mean, just really interesting.
And for families as well, on the weekend, there's like scuba diving that you can do. There's swimming lessons for the kids. There's like so many excursions that you can do that like involves water. We have add-on programs for kids, kind of like judo. My daughter loves doing judo when she's on the island. So we will offer some of that as add-ons if parents want to do that too.
Share with me what the schedule will look like coming up. I know I will link in the show notes the exact cohorts, but what are the timeframes that that families could participate in? What size do you think the cohorts will end up being?
So the scheduling is seasonal. So we had actually a trial in March with a few families that were living on the island, but they were expats, some that came originally from Canada, Venezuela, Cuba, and the Netherlands. And they did a trial at the Children's Museum and they absolutely loved it. We did a ranger theme and they built badges and they had to go and explore outside to find little treasures in nature. And I remember one kid was like, "Oh, I found a heart leaf." And everyone in the group, the other peers, like the children, were super excited. They're like, "Oh my gosh, that's super cool," and stuff. So it was a beautiful, beautiful day. That trial kind of helped us to understand how we want to structure the program, and the families and the kids were so gracious to try it out. So I'm very grateful for that. But our official first cohort will be in the fall, and families will have the option to stay for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days if they like. And then we have a more flexible discovery Ileo program that is in December. That one is very flexible because it's during the holidays. So if a family wants to just kind of dip their feet in and either to visit the island, to just learn more about what we're doing, whatever the reason is, even if it's for a holiday and you need a place for your kids to be during the day, we're here. So that one, parents can come for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the whole month of December if they like. And then we have the winter cohort that will be in 2027, the spring. And then we have a couple camps that are about 2 weeks, one in July and one in August. And then we'll see where what the future holds.
What does your vision for Ileo look like?
Well, Ileo, the name of Ileo is Ile, comes from the French word of island. So Ile, and then O for global. So my goal and future hope is to expand it. And right now my goal is to expand it to the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire. And then after that, we'll see. But I think one of the questions that I did not answer earlier was the size of the cohort. We do welcome 6 to 10 families at a time for each cohort, just so it can be more communal and we can also help the families integrate with the local people that are on the island as well. So we're keeping it consciously small for now. We'll see what the future holds.
That's a great way to be able to give attention to the families and make sure that they're having a great experience and then build and grow from there. And I love to hear about your future vision. I think that's really exciting to be able to think about linking up the different ABC islands as an opportunity. And from a visa standpoint, if people have US, European, Canadian passports, are they able to stay for how many days can they stay in Curaçao at a time?
I know for the US, for sure, you can stay up to 183 days. We do it up to 90 days, so you're fine. There is just like an entry visa to just like fill out, and it's no fee, no cost.
So you've picked a beautiful island that resonates with you and your culture and your heritage, but also has this international feel, kid-friendly opportunities. You're putting on these amazing cohorts. However, I know that not everything is always easy and smooth. What are some of the difficult or challenging parts, either about your traveling lifestyle or about getting this hub up and running? And then, of course, we'll talk about the wins as well.
For me, the most challenging realistic part is just navigating. Having two little ones is never easy, and putting in early work into this early project that in some ways it can potentially be big in the sense of helping other families experience the culture, but also being very conscious as like a homeschooler to prioritize my kids' time as well. So for me, I would say that that's been, as a mom, the most challenging part, being a businesswoman plus being a mother and stuff. And plus too, my kids are actually working models. So they're signed to an agency. So we're also bouncing back and forth with photo shoots all the time. I really like that when I'm on the island, that my kids, when I'm going to the meetings, that my kids could be at a nearby playground. One of the most beautiful things about Curaçao is that there's playgrounds everywhere, even at some of the restaurants. So if you're having a dinner with your friends, or if it's a meeting, your kids can kind of be at eyesight and you could kind of see them there playing. And we have a nanny there that is just like, she's not even a nanny anymore. She's part of the family. So all of that, those little things has helped me. So I focus on like the positive, and as well as like for my kids to kind of see me balancing that, because I'm raising a young daughter as well. So I want her to know that if you put your mind to anything, you can do it. The sky is the limit.
That's great. Would you say that is your win, or is there anything else you'd like to add on?
The win, being able to do something where I can, one, involve my kids into it, because my kids is going to be part of like the cohorts. And so some of the families will meet Valentina and Sebastien on a daily basis. So being able to create something that my kids can be a part of, being able to go to meetings. I know that earlier I was kind of like, don't be surprised if one of my kids kind of pop in, you know what I mean? So being able to do something that as a mom, I'm not too far from them, but also getting just enough space to do my own passion as well is priceless to me.
Perfect. I love
Yeah.
that. This has been so great. Let's wrap up with a few fun lightning round questions just to get to know you a little bit better. What are the 3 countries that you would love to visit or live in? Just 3.
I think any country in the continent of Africa, I haven't been yet. So I would say mostly West Africa, just because most of my best friends are from there. So Senegal, Nigeria, and Ghana.
Okay. Very cool. You have to put those on your two travel lists for when the kids are a little older and as well.
For sure, for sure.
What is your best and worst food that you've ever tried?
I'm very open to food, so I'm not gonna say worse. It might not be my taste, but that's okay. So, but I would say for me, Haitian food is underrated. Like, I think everybody should try it. The flavor of island spice, and as well as it has a little bit of like French influence in there. So within the presentation and as well as the flavors as well, I think is unmatched. So if you have a Haitian friend, try it out and let me know.
Yeah, it sounds like a delicious combination. So what is it typical dish that, if someone had an opportunity to try, is there one that they should start with?
So we're very big on rice, but the rice is very creative. We have like a black rice that is made out of like this black mushroom. I don't know where else you can find this mushroom because it tastes differently. I don't know if it's just local to Haiti, but we call it the dili and it's a black rice mixed with the mushroom. Oh my gosh, that is really good. And then we do rice and beans. And if you are familiar with some Mexican food, we have the beans that is blended as well with the white rice. So we have like a beautiful variety of different rice, and you can pair it with different meat. It's a Caribbean country, and it has and Haiti is also Afro-Latino. So if you're familiar with tostinos, like fried plantains, you will like that. We have that. And then if you're familiar with like empanadas, we have something similar that is called pâté. But when I say the French influence, the pâté is kind of like in a croissant, flaky, and it's just heavenly. So if I ever get to meet you, I will for sure get you some pâté.
Sounds delicious. I'll say I am so hungry right now. You've described some amazing meals, so I'll have to check it out. This has been great. Where can people learn more about you and Ileo and upcoming cohorts and opportunities to participate in Curaçao?
The best place to get to know about Ileo would be on our social media is Ileo.life, and as well as on our website. So any questions you have, it's Ileo.life.
Perfect. I'll link that in the show notes so people can check it out. And I love what you're creating here. It'd be fun to catch up in the future and see how things are developing. And especially as you develop to more islands, we'll keep spreading the news about your opportunities. But this has been so delightful. Thanks for sharing with me.
Thank you for having me today. I'm really grateful.
Sign up for the Wander Weekly newsletter and get curated resources for your family's journey, along with worldschooling news, family spotlights, and community roundups. You'll also get the essential pre-trip checklist specifically for slow traveling families. Sign up, grab your checklist, and I'll see you in your inbox soon.